All right, let's answer some of your questions now. Josh, coming to you first from Holly in California. What are your thoughts on Newmont Corporation? Like to get into gold, she says.
Newmont is like one of the blue chips of this market. It's probably the highest quality name in the group. I own GOLD rather than Newmont for like a large cap global gold miner that's considered a blue chip. But I think both are good. And actually, if you look at their performance year to date, neck and neck, they're within 1 or 2% of each other. For a little bit more sauce, I'm in AEM, Agnico Eagle Mines, which I think is a faster mover. But they're all going to work at the same time. So I don't think it's that important which one you buy.
Okay. Jimmy, to you, Farmer Jim from Bob in Massachusetts. Jim, I followed you into Viacom CBS a few months back as a dividend play, but I'm skeptical about the business model with Netflix, Apple, Amazon creating their own content and streaming services making cable a thing of the past. Is Viacom CBS a dinosaur, or should I remain long?
Okay, Bob. Well, hopefully today's results give you a little bit of comfort to stick with it. The CBS All Access streaming platform has 16 million subscribers. That's up 74% year over date, growing very rapidly, well ahead plan. But here's kind of the secret sauce. A year and a half ago, they bought Pluto free TV streaming service for $340 million. Now, that $340 million gives them 26 million subscribers that they can advertise the CBS All Access subscription service to. That's a great business model. Stick with this. It's growing right now.
All right, Farmer Jim, thank you for that. Pete, to you from Roger in Denver. What about Cryoport? Is it still a buy?
I think it is, Scott. It's a very unique company. A lot of people don't know this name, but it's a billion-dollar company that it's logistics. It's shipping all sorts of different biomedical things across the country, and it's very, very important. I like the company. I met the CEO. I thought the company sounded like a very interesting company that I wanted to look a little bit deeper into. I have. And so I own the stock. It does not have earnings yet, Scott, so I don't know when that's going to come around, but I do like the stock.
Okay, Brenda, do you from Gary in Wisconsin, buy, sell, hold on P&G, Procter & Gamble?
This is a really defensive company, and we think there is room in a diversified allocation and portfolio for some defensive companies. And this is a very high quality one. Organic growth was 6% during the last quarter, which is almost off the charts for a company of this size. And they're also in the last year of a 5-year plan to reduce overall costs. So we think that will likely contribute to margin improvement over the next year. So we continue to like this company.
All right, this is a good question, Josh, from Sri in Los Angeles. Is it safe to enter Amazon for the long term after the recent pullback? You know, the stock's trading, you know, pretty elevated levels here. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which recent pullback.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe it's down like $2 or $3.
I guess so.
I wouldn't. If I weren't, listen. If I weren't already in the stock, I would not say this is an optimal time to be adding to Amazon. Amazon always gives you a chance every year. They announce a big quarter's worth of expenses, or they make a big acquisition or something. He does not care what Wall Street analysts think, so he doesn't operate under a PR umbrella. He operates under what's best for the long term. And when he does that, sometimes stock market gets spooked. Those are the moments that you want to think about entering Amazon with a new position. Not today.
Jimmy, back to you. Raymond in Florida. What are your thoughts on Cisco? Is it still a buy?
Yeah, it is, but I think you got to pair this with your higher growth company. So if you own the FANG stock, Cisco could be something to give you a little bit of a barbell for a longer term grower. Why is it going to grow long term? It's not so much the hardware, it's the security and software systems in a work from home connected environment. They're getting some traction, getting some sales growth there. That's what I'm looking for over the long term.
All right, Pete from Tyler in New York. What about Canada Goose? Undervalued? Time to get in now?
Yeah. I think it's probably a little bit undervalued now, Scott. It's definitely gotten pressed down. It has not had that big snapback like so many other companies that we talk about each and every day, but they're starting to rotate around from where they were, just basically coats to accessories to shoes and all kinds of other areas. I do think this is a good time to start looking at it because it hasn't had the bounce yet, and I do think we'll see a bounce when we get closer towards the late fall and into the winter.
All right, Brenda, lastly to you, Martina in Florida. iShares Russell 2000 ETF, the IWM, going higher in the next 6 months. Or should I sell it?
Yeah, so small cap has had a nice move recently, but it's still lagging U.S. large cap by about 10% for this year-to-date period. And if we look beneath the surface, it's kind of telling when you look at the sector composition because small cap is really not dominated like technology like you would think. It's really dominated by healthcare, industrials, and financials. So in our view, if we do get more of a move based on improving economic outlook, potentially news about a vaccine, you could see a bigger move in the small cap universe because of that composition as a result. So we would stick with that holding right here.